first read that the work done by ASIMOV.
Yeah.
How, like, musical ideas like immediately start forming in your mind, or?
No, because I read the books before, like way before. Like, I mean, quite a few years back, I started reading the first ones, and then I kept reading, different series of his books and stuff. So I think it was just the idea formed around using themes in his books, more than music sort of just coming out of what I was reading. I think it was sort of putting two things together that I thought worked and that were interesting, and then working together on that idea. Yeah.
With the album being so like heavily influenced by those works of fiction, does that make it easier or harder to be honest with your songwriting?
To be honest. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure actually. I guess probably the same. I mean, it's difficult to be honest in general. And I think whether you're looking at it from, taking someone's fiction and using that as a starting point, I think it's still there's truth in what you're wanting to say anyway, in your own lyrics and the song and what that song that you're writing's about. So there's the same difficulty, and it's kind of I don't think it changes that much.
Did you meld like your personal experiences with the inspiration from the fiction, or?
Can you repeat that again?
Did you meld your
Yeah, I guess there's always some of yourself and your experiences in what you're doing anyway, but I think it's a bit of a mix. Yeah. I mean, it's mostly sort of based on things that I love, like topics that I find really interesting. So that's part of my experience as well, I guess. But yeah.
What aspect of yourself do you think excites you most in your music?
I guess like everybody in the band has a different aspect that they give to the band, and their personality shines through in that, and where they live, where they studied, where they're at the musical scenes that they're playing in now and stuff. So I feel like we're all adding something in personal to ourselves. What was the first music? The first piece of music that we wrote was Oliver, which is the last track on the album actually, and it was kind of the reason why we decided to go with this direction. We just were convinced that the song worked and that we liked this kind of this world, and to explore that and try different stuff with that theme, Yeah.
Which I think it can also mean like not really refer to a specific theme and decide to go over this theme, but mostly to read the book, to be inside of that world, which means anything somehow, no? You have certain feeling like reading the book, you're into a certain atmosphere, you face specific themes linked to the fact that maybe we are not the only ones, for instance, in the universe, so you have another perspective on things, and then all this vibe, we can say, influences you somehow, and then without like being very rational, you just create music over it, like trying to get into the world and reproducing it, not really rationally. Not say, okay, now I'm gonna talk with the music about space. No, just try to be there with all the thing you felt while you were like facing that piece of art, like ASIMOV books, and then you re-elaborate with your own sensitivity. Was it? Does it make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you go about creating a sense of atmosphere and vibe that you speak about there in your music? What kind of elements do you use to construct that?
I think it needs to, it comes from a foundation of a guitar part that I'm writing and a melody, and then we build on that, trying to decide what the kind of most important elemental part of that song is. You know, is it the rhythmic aspects of the accompaniment part? Is it the melody that needs like supporting? So you kind of look at how to make that original thing more. More. You just sort of build on that.
You can have different answers. I mean, sometimes we work on it sound-wise, so maybe we try to emulate robot sound, as it happens in Oliver, for instance. Sometimes it's more like about the arrangement of the tune, so you create like different levels in music, like two different kind of words that are mixed together. For instance, Caves, which is I think the 6th track on the album. I can't recall right now really the number of the track, but yeah,
seventh.
As something like this, like there is a melody that comes out of the Bluetooth, which is totally detached from the other part. So like also having two different things in the same place, which are apparently not really connected, can be linked also to the things of space and like different things coming together. I mean, there is not just one way of reproducing the thing. There are like many things.
How much of what you speak about the like occurred before you go to the studio?
What?
What were you speaking about the like laying it?
I think a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're going into the studio, you have pretty limited time, and you're working on like taking the parts that you've decided on up till that point, and trying to make them sound as good as they can, and then thinking about with the time that you've got, if there are some things that are missing, if you want to add some other stuff. So then you do add some stuff in the studio, but it's sometimes it's important stuff, but it's relatively minimal. Like you have to have the basic idea down, otherwise you're going to the studio and it's like panic, because you know, unless you've got a month to record, it's not always that easy.
Yeah, we worked for very long to some pre-productions before to go to the studio, so we had a general idea of how the tracks were gonna be, and then we left some room for like improvised moments or like creative moments in the studio. But actually, yeah, the core of the album was already there before we put it together.
Where did you record the album?
We recorded in Genoa in a studio there called Elfish Studio. No, it was a bit different. That's the thing. Like the first album, I recorded in like in a rehearsal space basically, and this was the first record that we've made that's been recorded in the studio. So it was a different experience, but rewarding experience. We really enjoyed working with the guy that recorded everything, Amy, there at the studio, Elfish. So it was a nice experience.
Yeah, sure.
It's a really cool studio, really lovely location. It's like in the countryside. There's a river running by it, so it's like really nice, chilling out between takes and stuff. It's a good space to record. Yeah.
To help for inspiration and all as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
surely. Yeah.
Certainly lets you. Yeah.
It's very chill, really, very very calm. So.
Mm-hmm.
And when you went into the studio, did you come prepared with like examples of albums and music that you wanted this one to sound like, or?
Yeah, but actually, I can't remember specifically what I showed Amy, but I definitely had some examples, especially for like drum sounds, things like that. Drums can be a little bit more tricky and it takes a little bit more time up, and you need to have a good focused idea of the kind of sound you're looking for, and then try a few things how you're going to go about that. So I definitely gave him some examples. I can't remember specifically what now, but for sure.
Start of October the album come out? It's got a few months now.
Yeah. Start to that's an interesting question. I certainly don't feel like it's pessimistic.
No, me neither. Me neither.
I'm not sure about the optimistic thing. I mean, it's kind of.
It's an open question, I would say.
Yeah,
no?
it's an open. It's like decide what you want to take out of it. But I certainly didn't feel one way or the other about it specifically. I wasn't going for that.
Yeah, there is a lot of like parts that recall the love for nature and I don't know, also like human feelings and stuff. So I would see it more as
There's a kind of
positive
balance
novel.
between, I guess it's a pretty positive record on the whole. Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned it has a lot of nature and not just in general, so I wonder the themes of the album. But is there something Britain's kind of nice?
Yeah, I think so. I guess a little bit, yeah. I mean, I think if you're writing about certain things, certain topics, themes, you're in that mindset. You're thinking about that thing for quite a long period of time while you're writing the song, and you're working on the different phases of the song, and you're looking at the artwork that you're doing for it, or so it does make you think about it more, for sure.
As the role that like music as
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I know the reason why I make music in such an easy. It's not such a clear-cut, simple thing. I think anybody who makes music, they have to make music. That's it. You're kind of.
Yeah,
feel like
it's just a need.
It's a need, yeah.
need,
It's
yeah.
something that you kind of feel you have to do.
At a certain
It's a
point of
form
your life.
expression, and it's
Yeah.
a form of enjoyment. Just working away at something and seeing it develop into something that didn't exist before. That's it.
Yeah. I was saying that at a certain point of your life, you recognize you can't do anything else but music. So you just do it.
Yeah.
That's it.